Let's move on to the next biblical mandate for marriage that the devil really hates. In fact, he hates it so much that there have been radical movements in this country to neutralize its power. But more shockingly, the biggest movement to stomp out the power of this next mandate has come from within the Christian church itself. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about sex. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 7, 1 and 4 in the Bible and start having some fun. You ready to have some fun? I think it's about time. All right.
Sex and marriage. We're going to talk about biblically prescribed sex. You know, when you get a prescription from your doctor, it's for something to make you better, to take away the pain and make life more enjoyable, right? Well, it's the same with biblically prescribed sex, only this time, God wrote the prescription. You see, the puritanical view on sex that has proliferated in most Christian denominations, that sex is dirty, that it is something to be ashamed of, is actually the work of the devil. Remember, the devil is the ultimate deceiver, and he deceives by corrupting, distorting, and twisting the truth. The devil has used the church to undermine the power of marriage by making sex a necessary evil, something you talk about in hushed tones, something you must do but somehow must feel guilty about. This view of sex has made it something that people have felt guilty about and consequently avoided exploring to its full potential in committed relationships. As the devil would have it, if a man's and a woman's natural desires for sex are not met within the marital relationship, it opens up one to temptations of finding sexual fulfillment outside the marital relationship.
So, let's see what the Bible has to say. So this is 1 Corinthians 7:3 from the New International Version that we're going to read you. This is a chapter commonly known for its principles for marriage. So here it is. 1 Corinthians 7:3. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. In the New American Standard Version it says, the husband should give to the wife her conjugal rights. The New Living Bible says, the husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife her husband's needs. The next two verses prove this. Verse 4 says, the wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to his wife. Now verse 5 says, do not deprive each other of sexual relations unless you both agree to refrain from sexual intimacy for a limited time so that you can give yourselves more completely to prayer. Wow! All I can say is, wow! The only provision in the Bible that it has for denying each other sex is by mutual consent for a time to pray.
I love this text. Don't you love this text? And then it says, continuing in verse 5, afterward, you should come together again so that Satan won't be able to tempt you because of your lack of self-control.
Right out of here, guys.
You see, marriage is designed to provide for our needs so that we don't fall into the traps of fornication and adultery. When we are completely filling each other's needs as God intended, our focus can then be on fulfilling our individual missions here on earth instead of being in survival mode trying to get our needs filled. This is a beautiful thing, my friends. Marriage is intended to be highly sexually fulfilling. Marriage is about taking the question completely off the table of when, where, and how will my sexual needs be fulfilled. This is why Satan hates this so badly. He has deceived people into thinking that marriage is this fast track to no sex or limited sex.
That's right. Satan has deceived people into believing that sex in a loving, committed Christian marriage is an oxymoron. Satan has deceived people into believing that sex is dirty, immoral, and somehow ungodly. He's also deceived people into thinking that sex in a committed marriage is optional and that it's conditional. Now, I know that if I thought that it was optional and conditional, I would have had a second thought about getting married, even to Kimberly. I guess neither one of us probably ever really thought about it then. When people believe these untruths, these deceptions, they become vulnerable to sexual sin, to adultery, to pornography, and even to prostitution. It's exactly what Satan wants. He has perverted our views of sex so that we inevitably find sexual fulfillment outside our marriage. And then what happens? Pain, suffering, disillusionment.
But when marriage is enjoyed the way it was intended, the deceptions and vices of sexual activities outside of marriage aren't a temptation. And when your needs are being filled at a high level at home, your energies are freed up to be focused on your mission in life. I think that's so cool, don't you?
Well, I sure do. What could be cooler than God telling us in His Word that we need to be having a lot of sex in our marriage? Hey, thanks for watching. If you like our messaging and you want to hear more, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. And help us get the word out by sharing this with anyone that you care about.
And we really want to know what you think about this important subject matter. So please leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.